Hi everybody, it's Chris from the Evermore YouTube channel, home of the Newcastle United podcast. We're back with another match preview as Newcastle United travel down to Old Trafford to take on Manchester United this Sunday. So for the first time in a long time, we're probably quite feeling confident really going into this game. In years gone by, we've probably gone in there with hands over our eyes, wondering what the score is going to be, but not this time. It's a very different look at Newcastle United. We're going to get stuck into that in a minute, just give you a little bit of our thoughts on how we think the game's going to go and how we're going to line up as well. But just before we do a little bit of housekeeping, if you haven't already, please click the like and subscribe button. We'd love you to come and join us. We're sitting on about 1888 subscribers. So we're so close to 1900. Keep smashing that button. It's all free content, this. We don't charge anybody, especially in difficult times. We just love talking about the club. And we love the fact that you guys like watching what we're doing as well. So hit the button, come and join us. And there'll be plenty more Newcastle chat just like this. So let's get stuck into this then. Yeah, so we're going into this game against Manchester United. We haven't got a particularly great record against Manchester United. Looking at the head-to-heads over recent times as Mark's put together there. So you can see there, out of 54 Premier League games played between Manchester United and Newcastle, we've only won 7 versus their 32. We've only scored 55 goals versus their 113 and 11 clean sheets versus their 19. And you can see the last 5, obviously there was the 4-1 drubbing, back-to-back 4-1 drubbing, 3-1, 4-1, then a 1-1 draw. So it's not been great for our previous trips down to Old Trafford. I know that Lee and PK are down there this Sunday, but I think this time it's going to be slightly different. I think the last time we won there, I think it was Johan Cabaye goal. Was it 2019, 18, possibly? I don't know. I have to look that up. But yeah, it was Johan Cabaye goal in the Brazilian strip. I remember that. But it was a fantastic game. And we were really in form when we were playing them back then, and they were a little bit iffy, I think, under David Moyes. And they've been a little bit iffy this season, but as you can see from the form guide there, they've really picked up. I mean, outside of that 6-3 defeat by Manchester City with Haaland and Foden, absolutely electric form. Eric Ten Hag has turned that around a little bit, and they've been winning games. I mean, they're sitting, I think, right behind us in the Premier League table. I think they're sitting about 5th in the table, and we're 6th. So this is a real good litmus test, as I said, as to where we are as a club right now and where we could potentially be. Yeah, so they're on 15 points in 5th, and we're on 14 points in 6th. They have got a game in hand on us, though. But this is a real tester to see where we are going to go as a club. And as you can see there, our form going into this, obviously a 2-1 defeat, a 0-0 draw, 1-1 draw, then back-to-back wins, 9 goals in 2 games, 4-1 against Fulham and 5-1 against Brentford at the weekend. I think we don't go into this game with any fear, really. I mean, Manchester United themselves, in terms of their team news, they've got injury doubts to Anthony Martial. Maguire's missing, which is probably a blow for us, really, because he was there trying to mark Callum Wilson the way he's been playing. I think you'd have him on toast. You got Donny van de Beek, who's out the team, but he's not really a big player anyway. And Wan-Bissaka, who's expected to miss out as well. The big one for them is Scott McTominay is suspended after he's got 5 yellow cards. So he is quite important for them in that midfield. And I think with the way Bruno's playing as well, they would have wanted him in there to kind of stop that play. But yeah, it could be a really interesting game for us at the weekend. And this is how I think that we'll line up as Newcastle United. Although, Dan Burn's been absolutely sensational and Jacob Murphy as well, to his credit, has been much better in the last couple of games. I do think that anyhow we'll make some changes. I think it's really to combat against the pace of Manchester United. I think Rashford's touch and go as well. I do think he'll make this game. And then you got Sancho in there as well. Anthony's got pace. So I think, for me, Matt Targett's got to come back in at left back over Dan Burn. Dan Burn's a really reliable player. He could easily play in the centre-half position there alongside Botman. But I do think he'll bring Targett back in. Targett's had a few games to get rested now from that illness that he had. So for me, the back 5 will be Nick Pope, Captain Fantastic, Kieran Trippier. Hopefully he'll get a free kick against the slot and smash in the top corner. Fabian Schär, Sven Botman, and then Matt Targett as well at left back. I think the midfield, I think there'll be some changes there too. I think the man in form, Bruno Guimaraes, will definitely be there. I think Joe Linton will come back into the side after being rested a couple of games. Joe Willock has been sensational. I think that's gone under the radar a little bit. He'll keep his place. So I think Sean Longstaff will drop to the bench. No slight on Sean. I think he's been brilliant last couple of games. But I think in a game like this, I think we'll go at them with pace and power. So I think those 3 will dominate that midfield, hopefully, on Sunday. And up front, I think Maxi will come back in as well, alongside Callum Wilson in the centre, and obviously Miggy out on the right-hand side, who absolutely deserves to keep his place the way he's been playing. So on the bench, you can see that I think Longstaff will drop down the bench with Jacob Murphy, who's in form. So maybe he can come on and run at some tired legs. Dan Burn will slip in there as well. And we've got obviously the X factor of Elliot Anderson, and if Ryan Fraser can come on and do something if we need him to in that game as well, we could be looking good going into this. So I suppose, where do I think we're going to go with it? I don't think we're going to dominate them. A lot of people will be saying that Manchester United haven't been great this season, but you can see from the form guide there, they have picked up and they've learned to win games again. I think for me, we're going into this with real form and real confidence. 9 goals in 2 games. I don't think that's happened since the 90s for Newcastle United. And we are one of the informed teams in the league, and we don't have any fear. Eddie Howe's talked in his press conference about going into these games and not being scared. We're going in to win these games, not just to exist in them like we used to do under previous managers like Allardyce and even Pardew to an extent, even Rafa in a little bit. We just went in to kind of sit deep and try and catch him on the break. But Eddie Howe's got this team flying at the minute, full of confidence. We'll go to Old Trafford thinking that we can get something because we are a good team. So for me, I don't think we're going to win the game. I think a draw is a good result at Old Trafford, regardless of Manchester United being up and down a little bit. They've still got very good players. Erik ten Hag is getting a tune out of them right now. Ronaldo is still an X factor off the bench. I know he's old, but he's still a really good player. He got 700 career club goals against Everton the other day. He's still a threat off the bench for them. So I do think for us this is going to be a tough game, but I think we're defending so resolutely that I just think that Manchester United won't, find space against us, and they won't pick us apart like they probably have done against other sides in years gone by, certainly Newcastle sides. I don't think we're that team anymore. I think we're strong at the back. I think we've got great shape, good leadership, and the likes of Trippier. Botman's just a Rolls Royce of a defender. Even if Ronaldo comes off the bench, I don't think he's going to beat this kid in the air. I don't think he's going to beat him for pace. He's not going to find the yard, because Botman seems to just have that little bit about him where he watches these players so closely. I think he learned his lesson from Mark and Haaland when he let him go a little bit, just once or twice in that game, and he looks like he's come back an even better player for it. And that's just testament to how good he is. So for me, I'm going for a 1-1 draw. I think that's a good result at Old Trafford. We might nick it 2-1. I can easily see Newcastle nicking it 2-1. But I don't think we'll lose this game. I think we'll at least get a draw, 1s each for me. And let us know what you guys think in the comments below, if you agree or disagree with our team lineup or the result. But hopefully we'll get a good result, at least get a point, if not 3 on Sunday. Keep climbing up that table, keep staying in the top 6, and let's keep supporting that team of United. I'm going to be back with a post-match review. Hopefully I'll be happy and I'll be talking about a good game as opposed to banging the table and wondering what the hell went wrong. But yeah, keep watching the channel, guys. As I mentioned at the start, hit the button, like and subscribe. Come and join us, help us get to that 1900 mark, and then pushing on to 2000. And then let's enjoy the game of the weekend. See you later now.